Hello there, how you doing? Jeff DeSocio from the Talent Opportunity Connector with your interview tips for the week. So this week, what I'd like to talk about is the 5 C's for success when you're at your next interview. As you know, the job market right now is very difficult. Companies are taking their time hiring the right person. At some points, they're looking for that unicorn. So that kind of a little bit tests your patience as a candidate out there that goes through, the interview cycle with companies. Some companies end up having like 2 to 5 rounds of interviews. You end up talking to 12 people. I know it can be difficult. So here's 5 C's that you can think about as you go along. First one is character. So what a company does is they'll test your character. They'll ask you the difficult questions. Why did you leave certain companies? Why did you quit? Or why did you get laid off even? How did you get along with your boss? They like to see how you act under pressure, and they test your character. What was the most difficult uh, day you had? How did you deal with it? And they want to see your answer. So character is the first of the C's. Cultural fit. So that this is, I say right now as a recruiter, that's one thing I really look for is somebody has to fit into the culture of the company. You know, are they entrepreneurial? Is it a larger enterprise, right? How is the organization structured in the company? Will this person fit in? Example, will a person that's worked startups all their career, all of a sudden goes to a larger enterprise? How would they interact with their coworkers? Cultural fit, well, probably of the 5 I'm going to talk about, probably the most important one because if you get along with your coworkers, right, you're culturally fit with them, you're going to, chances are you'll be very successful. Third one, career direction. I love to hear your progression. I love to look at resumes and candidates that have had progression in their careers. And it's always good to have a plan. And if asked about that plan, mention that. Now, I wouldn't recommend saying, hey, I'm going to take your job to the interviewer if that's your boss. But, deep down inside, you're saying, I'm going to be learning every day. And my goal is to get to this level in 3 to 5 years. Always understand your career direction. That shows that you've planned out your life and your career, and it shows that you're also organized. You're not a shoot from the hip. So the third one is career direction. Fourth one is competence. And in a lot of companies really hit this one and it's really unfortunate, right? Well, of course you got to have competence. You have to have competence. But when I talk about competence, it's the skills for the job. Do you know a certain program language, right? Or do you know a certain financial application if you're an accountant? Do you have all those hard skills? That side of competence. And I always say, make sure you have the majority of them, but also prove that you learned a new program in your career many times. But you always have to be competent and adaptable and agile when it comes to understanding and learning new technologies. If you don't have the confidence to learn something new, that's a red flag for a hiring manager. The last one is communication skills. Another one that I really look for when I interview candidates is how well they communicate. How like if I were to ask a question, am I getting a one-word answer, or am I getting that long-winded answer that puts you to sleep? What? How do you communicate? How do you communicate? Like I always like to ask, how do you communicate to your superiors and your stakeholders on a regular basis? Especially, if you're delivering a product, you're a product manager. That's absolutely essential to be able to communicate to the stakeholders on where you are in a project or in anything like that. So communication skills are important. So to summarize, the 5 C's for success, write these down and think about how you would handle these questions. Character, cultural fit, career direction, competence, communication skills. All right, if you have any questions, by all means reach out to me. Hiring managers, If you have any questions about interview process and how to measure these 5 C's, let me know. This is Jeff D, the Talent Opportunity Connector. Have a great day.